You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 8687.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, it's Jessie. How y'all doing out there today? Yes, Mr. Frog is trying to hang around. Although we're just gonna bounce him right on out of here. Now, before I get started, and boy do I have some doozy audio clips for you guys. I have an announcement. So listen up. Jessie's POV is switching its schedule just a little bit. You'll still hear me, Jessie, Monday through Friday, right here on KLRNRadio.com 5 nights a week. But Jessie's POV will be 4 nights a week. Yes. Monday through Thursday will be Jessie's POV. Friday, I am bringing back Jessie's Coffee Shop. Now, I put it on hiatus for a while, and I've got a whole host of interviews. Give you an idea, I've recorded 3 in the past few days. And I actually have 4 in the can. That's already a month's worth of Fridays for you guys. So, yes, I will still be here on KLRN Radio 5 nights a week. But I'm only going to be talking military and international news 4 nights a week. The obvious question is, why? Well, I love and miss my books. 2, how many times do I have to tell you that North Korea launched a missile and not to travel to Pyongyang before you get it through your thick heads? Of course, there is always there's always international news I can report. Always. Now, if there is something absolutely overwhelmingly that drives me to the microphone on a Friday night, what am I going to do? Well, I have a couple of choices. I can catch one of my co-hosts and see if I can jump on their show. Because we are a diverse group here at KLRN Radio. I can grab an empty time slot, or I can do something on Saturday, which has plenty of empty time slots. So just because I'm giving up my regularly scheduled Friday night Jessie's POV slot to Jessie's Coffee Shop doesn't mean I'm not going to be keeping an eye on the news. And like I said tonight, and yes, I know I misspelled it, but I have fixed the typo. Horsehoes, hand grenades. ... Close is good enough. Don't take my word for it. Yes, we are going to start off with a clip from Admiral Harris.
Well, I don't know if those missiles can actually hit what they're aimed at, but like horseshoes and hand grenades, getting close is all that's needed when you're dealing with nuclear weapons.
All right. Don't take my word on it. Yes, Admiral Harris. Now, that comment was part of remarks he made here in Washington, D.C. at the Japanese ambassador's residence. But that's not the only clip I have. For those of you that live under a rock, North Korea did it again. They launched another ICBM. And that's news. What's groundbreaking is that this one went further. Yes, this one went further than the previous one, putting more of the continental United States in their range. And like the general said, close is good enough. Yes, it is. Now, before I get sidetracked and forget, before I get totally sidetracked, because this is my last chance to mention it on air, and I got a note sticking here in front of my nose to do so, I got to tell you guys about one other thing. We'll get back to North Korea and quackers. I promise you, we're going back there. Trust me. I got the whole stack of show prep focusing on him, but I got something on a positive note to tell you folks about. One of our other hosts here at the station, and the host I produce for, Dr. Judy L. Moore, a.k.a. Doc, what's up, Doc, is having a webinar tomorrow on the 1st of August. And this is in honor of her new book, Hidden Traps. Now, you've heard the ads on the station. She's doing a free 20-minute webinar about the biggest trap out there and how you can avoid it. And you're sitting there going, but I'm not a writer. Do you have a business that has a website, a small business? Are you trying to get a political campaign or a political party or some kind of organization off the ground that's going to need a website and a social media presence? Well, guess what? It's still the book for you. There's one chapter that's just dedicated to writers. But the rest of it, highly relevant to everyone with a social media presence. All right. Now that I've taken my break from quackers, and yes, we all know he is quackers. Yes, Kim Jong-un, you are quacking mad. We are going to get back to him. They launched another ICBM. North Korea's latest intercontinental ballistic missile, commonly called an ICBM, was the longest test in the history of the rogue regime. Well, guess what? The missile flew for approximately 45 minutes, 5 minutes longer than the previous ICBM from July 4th. Missile experts calculate that a North Korean ICBM flew 2,300 miles into space. That was about 600 miles higher than the July 4th launch. Now you're all sitting there going, why do I care? All right. When they launch these test missiles, they do so at a very weird trajectory. They do it so that they don't hit anything that's going to get them bombed, essentially. And even Senator Dianne dying. Democrat from California said, based on briefings, intelligence reports, and committee testimony, she's convinced that North Korea has never moved at the speed this leader has to develop an ICBM to put solid fuel, to have an interesting launch device, and to have a trajectory which would enable it to go approximately 6,000 miles, which is as far east as Chicago. Now, Pentagon spokesman Captain Davis did not read out the specific dangers to merchant ships, airlines, and things like that. However, I've told you about them before. They're reckless. They're dangerous. And just don't, and they need to stop before they get bombed. And I have a feeling if bullets start flying on the Korean peninsula, it's not going to be pretty. In fact, it's not unimaginable. It's going to be horrific. Don't take my word. Here's General Dunford, Chairman of your Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Many people, and this is an important point, many people have talked about military options as with words like unimaginable. And I would probably shift that slightly and say it would be horrific. And there would be a loss of life unlike any we have experienced in our lifetimes. And I mean, anyone who's been alive since World War II has never seen the loss of life that could occur if there's a conflict on the Korean Peninsula. But as I've told my counterparts, both friend and foe, it is not unimaginable to have military options to respond to North Korean nuclear capability. What's unimaginable to me is allowing a capability that will allow a nuclear weapon to land in Denver, Colorado. That's unimaginable to me.
All right, and I have yet another audio clip. This one's very short. It's UN Ambassador Nikki Haley.
Make no mistake, North Korea's launch of an ICBM is a clear and sharp military escalation.
Now, before you accuse me of doing nothing but playing audio clips all night, you want to know why I play them. All right, because it is an important part of my show. It is... I play them because I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to realize these are true dangers and real-world events. That I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat, at least not at this moment, and that I am not, repeat, not, just making it up. Now, what did the United States do in response? Well, they flew B-1 bombers right on up the South Korean coast, just short of the DMZ. They did not let them cross the DMZ, and I do not know if they were armed. But they did it, and that is a huge show of force. These bombers took off from Guam and rocketed right on up the peninsula. Sometimes they dropped test bombs. I didn't see any report of that, but they did it. There was also a THAAD defensive test. It was previously scheduled, but you know what? I have a feeling, at least on somebody's calendar, this second ICBM launch was also previously scheduled. And yes, that is the show prep. Sorry I didn't get to it sooner. I forgot to do it. I was sidetracked. But yes, I'm going to warn you, we're doing a lot of North Korea. You're going to hear a lot of quackers tonight. Yes, I know. Just what you always wanted. But I like to bring you the closest, most unvarnished truth as I see it. So, what did North Korea do? Well, the Central Committee and Central Military Commission of the Workers' Party of Korea gave a banquet at Mokran House on Sunday in celebration of the second test fire of ICBM Hwasong-14. Of course, Kim Jong-un was present at the banquet, and there were invited guests were contributors to the test fire. I'm not going to read them all. The second test fire, only 20 days after the first, is a world-startling event that eloquently proved the development speed. And this is, remember, folks, this is a North Korean news article. And this was read by Ri Man-gan, Vice Chairman of the Central Committee and Workers' Party of Korea. Okay? He said the second ICBM test fire, only 20 days after the first, is a world-startling event that eloquently proved the development speed of the Juche-oriented rocket industry, making a remarkable leap forward in the great era of Kim Jong-un and its inexhaustible potentiality and the invincible stamina of heroic Korea. Repeat, that was from a North Korean news website, which you know they're all run by the state. The speaker underlined the need to ceaselessly produce new type ballistic rockets with high mobility and striking power in the sky-high spirit of having brought a miraculous victory of July 28th through the March 18th revolution and July 4th revolution under the guidance of respected supreme leader, and make a success in the field of defense scientific research capable of overtaking the world in the air, on the sea, and underwater. Those are some pretty spooky words. Now, I don't like the idea. I really don't. But I'm going to say we may be closer now than we have been in some time to war on the Korean Peninsula. And I don't like this. Never mind the fact that my own husband is on that peninsula right now. I don't like this because of what it could do to the world and to the nation. I don't like this because of all the potential ramifications and fallouts. I don't like this because the last thing I want is to see us drawn into World War III over this guy. Now, if you recall, I said that we did the strategic bomber run. This was their take on it. 2 B-1B nuclear strategic bombers of the United States, together with the F-15K fighters of South Korean Air Force, staged a war drill, aiming at a preemptive nuclear attack on the DPRK in the sky above South Korea on Sunday. They took off from the Andersen Air Force Base on Guam and flew into the sky above Osan, Gyeonggi Province of South Korea to stage the drill of dropping nukes. Earlier, the nuclear strategic bombers reportedly conducted a joint military drill with the, quote, Air Self-Defense Force of Japan, unquote. Now, I have mentioned repeatedly, North Korea is trading with some pretty unsavory partners. Remember, they have proliferated every weapon system they have created, bar none. So the next 2 articles I found on their website gave me pause. Kim Young-nam, president of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK, left on Monday to attend the Iranian presidential inauguration at the invitation of the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now, you're going, so it's a diplomatic trip. 1, a lot happens on the sidelines of these trips, kids. Have you not learned? 2, who's their trading partners? Let's see. North Korea trades with Iran. North Korea trades with Russia. North Korea trades with China. All right. And I will leave you to ponder that while we pay those radio station bills. And as always, you can hang out with me in the chat room at klrnradio.com/chat, or you can tag me in a tweet at JessieCOV, and I will see you on the other side.
Forget what they said if you wanna turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 8687.
You can lay down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
All right, thank y'all for hanging in there with me while I paid those radio station bills. Yes, Ron, thank you for hanging out there with me in the chat room over at klrnradio.com/chat. And anybody who would like to is more than welcome. To join me. Oh, yes, anyone is more than welcome to join me over in the chat room at KLRNRadio.com, or you can tag me in a tweet. Yes, I do keep my notifications tab open. So you do have to mention me at Jesse's POV, of course. Now, before I get back to the news, I've got I'm going to repeat this announcement because I know some people tune in a little late. Not everybody rewinds and listens to the whole show, which I don't think is fair, but it's okay. I'll take you listening as much as you can. Reminder, Jesse's POV will now be Monday through Thursday. Friday will be Jesse's Coffee Shop. Same place, same time. KLRNRadio.com, Jesse's Coffee Shop. Okay? All right. Now, back to quackers, or as Ron said in chat, spooky stuff. So, all right. Yes, this is kind of spooky stuff. I will admit. I do not want to be a doomsayer. I'm going to say this. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong. I don't think I am. I mean, some of these clips are old. Let's take a listen to one of them from Nikki Haley.
Make no mistake, North Korea's launch of an ICBM is a clear and sharp military escalation. The North Korean regime openly states that its missiles are intended to deliver nuclear weapons to strike cities in the United States.
Yes. Exactly. Now, so you've got Nikki Haley saying this ain't cool. Then you've got this comment recently from General Dunford. Recently as in like a week, 10 days ago, kids.
I think for all of us, we should give Secretary Tillerson full support in attempting to resolve this diplomatically and economically, even as we recognize that it may not happen, and there may have to be a follow-up option, which is the military option. But we can wring our hands and say it'll never happen, or we can roll up our sleeves and make an effort to have a concerted economic and diplomatic plan that does cause KJU, Kim Jong-un, to come to the table and begin to have a conversation, at least stop the path that he's on right now, which is further development of intercontinental ballistic missiles and nuclear capability. And to me, it makes all the sense in the world to prove the theory of the case and to work this for a few more months.
All right, I'm going to play the last little bit again. All right?
To me, it makes all the sense in the world to prove the theory of the case and to work this for a few more months.
It makes all the sense in the world to me to prove the theory of the case and work this for a few more months. Dunford put a timeline. Then, hang on to your hats, kids, because this is getting more interesting. Back to Admiral Harris. Yes, I've got another clip from Harris. This is just a list of his top 3 significant events in the past year.
Last September, North Korea tested yet another nuclear device, and on July 4th of this year, Kim Jong-un successfully launched his first ever intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM. 2, China increased aggressive maneuvers in the East China Sea and continued its unabated militarization of the South China Sea. And 3, in May, we were all reminded that ISIS is a truly global threat, as violent extremist organizations banded together to occupy Marawi City in Mindanao in the Philippines.
All right, that's over the past year. Yes, past year. Now, Harris continued.
During his despotic regime, Kim Jong-un has tested more missiles than his father and grandfather combined, and he's on a record pace to conduct more tests in 2017 than in any other year. In fact, the July 4th ICBM launch by North Korea was its 10th ballistic missile test event this year. Yet another reminder that North Korea is not only the most immediate threat to our alliance, but also a clear and present danger to global peace and stability. Let me emphasize that word, global.
All right. Getting pretty serious here. Now, we're going to back it off, and I'm going to see if I can find that one clip I'm looking for. Because there is one in particular that I'm just itching to find, so you're going to have to bear with me while I look. But in the meantime, I have something else I'm going to read to you from the North Korean news agency. Alright, so we've got Kim Jong-nam making a trip to Iran on the 31st of July. Then, a delegation of Syria Ba'ath Children organization led by Wadaha Sawas, Director of Technology and Information and External Relations, visited the birthplace of President Kim Il-sung. So, now, yeah, this is one of those, it's a diplomatic exchange. It's just a group of kids. Trust me. I'm going to say the group of kids was the cover for the adults that came with them. Would you like to know what date they were in Pyongyang? Try the 31st of July. At least that's the date on the article. Oh, yes. That is the date on the article. So we've got Syrian officials, because trust me, officials came with those Syrian children. And I will say, the children were being used. Innocent pawns. Children are innocent pawns. The children were being used as cover for a more subterfuge event. Either with those children or slide them in the back door while it's kind of one of those look over here while look over to the right, the real stuff's going on to the left. That is what I'm going to say was happening. All right. That is what I'm going to say was happening. Now, so we've got the second North Korean ICBM launch. We have a North Korean group going to Iran for a nice big diplomatic function, look pretty, smile. Trust me, meetings are happening on the side. Then we have a group of Syrian kids in North Korea all at the same time. Houston, I smell a problem. I smell a major problem. Now, I'm looking for the proliferation comment. I don't know that I had it marked as such, so we're going to try this one.
And the third question was on the capability of our intelligence.
I'm reasonably confident in the ability of our intelligence community to monitor the testing, but not the deployment of these missile systems. Kim Jong-un and his forces are very good at camouflage, concealment, and deception. We have a series of programs that I'd be happy to talk about in a classified setting that talk to the ability of our intelligence community, both military and civilian, to monitor those activities.
Yeah, and I think it's been said in outside of a classified hearing that the things that he has been doing are make him. The nicest thing I can say about Kim Jong-un is he's totally unpredictable, and the most unpredictable of anyone I've ever had any kind of experience with or even reading about, and that's what's been scary to most of the people, and I assume you agree with that.
Yes, sir, I do agree with that assessment.
All right, now that wasn't the clip I wanted. Let's try one more. And yes, these are all slightly older. We're talking in the last month, 6 weeks, so they're not that far out of date. But how many leaps has North Korea taken in 6 weeks?
North Koreans have yet to demonstrate the capacity to do the guidance and control that would be required to take
Yes, no, I was only referring to range.
Yes, sir, on range, they clearly have the capability.
And, if they have the capability in range, the other improvements are perhaps not too far behind.
Yes, sir, we'll have to watch very carefully with the IC, the developments on those particular capabilities. I do agree with the intelligence community and others that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is an arms proliferator. There's no evidence that they have engaged in proliferation of their long-range ballistic missile technology, but they have proliferated every other weapon system that they've ever invented. So it's a pretty clear pathway to the potential proliferation of these kinds of weapon systems.
Okay, so we have the second demonstration of North Korea long-range ICBM ballistic missile technology. Okay, now we have, in the same time frame, diplomats going to Iran, and I'm going to suspect that there were diplomats with those kids or in a separate group that was there while the kids were there. Kind of, they're playing the look over to the right while the real stuff's going on to the left, kind of like the magician doing the sleight of hand. Exactly. So we have Iran, Syria, North Korea, and an ICBM. And you just heard the clip.
Particular capabilities. I do agree with the intelligence community and others that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is an arms proliferator. There's no evidence that they have engaged in proliferation of their long-range ballistic missile technology, but they have proliferated every other weapon system that they've ever invented. So it's a pretty clear pathway to the potential proliferation of these kinds of weapon systems.
So, North Korea is a weapons proliferator. North Korea is a weapons proliferator. They got the goods. Whether they've got the exact guidance down is a whole other kettle of creatures. But I'm going to take you back to the very first audio clip I played tonight. Close is all that's needed is what it's titled on my soundboard.
Well, I don't know if those missiles can actually hit what they're aimed at, but like horseshoes and hand grenades, getting close is all that's needed when you're dealing with nuclear weapons.
All right. I got one more Admiral Harris clip, and this is from just the night before the second ICBM test.
The alarming behavior exhibited by the Kim Jong-un regime is not just a threat to our friends in South Korea, it's a threat to Japan, it's a threat to China, it's a threat to Russia, it's a threat to U.S. allies in the Philippines, Australia, and Thailand, and it's a threat to the United States, it's a threat to the entire world, because North Korea's missiles point in every direction. And it's the reason that we call for all nations to implement far stronger economic sanctions against Pyongyang. Kim Jong-un is on a quest for nuclear weapons on the one hand and the means to deliver them intercontinentally on the other. Separate capabilities where he continues to make substantial progress. As the world saw on July 4th, North Korea now has an intercontinental ballistic missile capability. That means North Korean missiles have the range to reach North America and Hawaii.
And as we said earlier, they've proven they can now go further. I'm willing to bet, and this is pure speculation on host part, as much of the show has been, that second launch, within such a short period of time, was to show off for the bigwigs. I'd love to have seen who was at that launch, besides Kim Jong-un. I'd love to have known what foreign dignitaries were there. Because Kim Jong-un is strapped for hard currency. Don't get me wrong, but he is. Yeah, there's the sanctions. They're starting to do all kinds of crazy things. The price of gas has risen for the first time in like 3.5 years in Pyongyang. Now, of course, to live in Pyongyang, you got to be a pampered pooch, and to have a car, you got to be an even bigger pampered pooch. So, it's not an impact on the general populace. However, one more article off of the Korean Central News Agency website, KCNA. A spokesman of the DPRK, that's the official term, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, yes, that's the official name for North Korea, Foreign Ministry made a public statement on Sunday. It said, and I quote, "The resounding success in the second test fire of ICBM Hwasong-14 conducted on July 28th is a great victory of the DPRK that demonstrated the independent prestige and dignity of Juche nuclear power and world-level rocket power. The test fire confirmed the DPRK's capability of making surprise launch of ICBM in any place and location, anytime, and clearly proved that the entire U.S. mainland is in the firing range of the DPRK's missiles." I'm going to read a little bit more of this. The maximum range simulation test fire of ICBM conducted by the DPRK this time is meant to send a stern warning to the U.S., making senseless remarks being lost to reason that in the frantic sanctions and pressure campaign against the DPRK. The U.S. trumpeting about war and threat to impose extreme sanctions on the DPRK only emboldens the latter and provides further justification for its access to nukes. Yeah, that's what it says. Alright, we're not done. To the Korean people who experienced disastrous disturbances of war on this land by the U.S. imperialist brutes, remember this is a North Korean news article, the powerful war deterrence for defending the state is an inevitable strategic option, and it is a precious strategic asset that cannot be discarded or bartered for anything. Did you hear that? It cannot be. It is a precious strategic asset that cannot be discarded or bartered for anything. We're almost done, but we're not quite there. All right. The U.S. should clearly understand the strategic position of the DPRK, which has become a world nuclear power and a rocket power, and the resolve of its army and people for retaliation, and wake up from the foolish dream of doing any harm to the DPRK. In case the U.S. fails to come to its own senses and continues to resort to military adventure and quote-unquote tough sanctions, the DPRK will respond with its resolute act of justice, as already declared. I think that says a mouthful, folks. I think that says a mouthful. Translation: anybody wanting to talk to us can just take a long walk off a short plank. And, well, we're nuclear power. You want to try and stop us? We'll just launch a strike. As much as I'd like to say, okay, back to mutually assured destruction, as much as I think Kim Jong-un wants to hold on to power, I think he may have had too much of that there North Korean Kool-Aid, my friend. Now, my time is quickly waning. Very quickly waning. So, I want to leave you with one more audio clip. And this one is not about North Korea. This one is to all of you who've had a rough show with me, because trust me, this wasn't an easy one to put together. And I didn't even get through a third of my show prep. And I don't even have that much tonight.
For anyone going through any type of personal battle, whether it's cancer, PTSD, depression, a personal challenge that they want to do. They want to go climb Mount Everest. You need to stay in the fight. And when I say that, I mean mentally. If you're not mentally in the fight, if you don't stay in the fight, you can't win.
All right, friends, stay in the fight, whatever that means for you. And regulars, you know what's coming. New listeners, hang on to your seatbelts. Because I'm out of here!